Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't interested like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribe. I'm going to talk to you today about Drew Sidora's new show, Mind Your Business. I was able to watch episode 1 and 2. They show the repeat episode before the new episode come on. Episode 1 was about they handled a serious topic of gentrification, but they did it in a funny, comical way, where Drew's apartment building was being sold by a manager, and she had to move in with her brother temporarily, and he didn't want her to move in. He wanted her to find her own place. But uh, but his wife was the one that insisted that Drew move in, and then Drew moved in, and while her moving in, she was just like the script to show. She was just like you would do in a regular situation where the sister thought she had more. Well, the sister thought she had more leeway and she could do like anything she really wanted to, but her brother had really, really kind of strict rules. But his wife, kind of ignore some of Drew's things, and Drew had brought all of her own stuff over there to her brother's house, and she had fixed up her room like she was like it was, and she wanted to paint and do everything. And her brother said, "No, no, you don't need to paint. The room is already painted, already painted." She wanted to paint and have her stuff over there, and her brother was getting kind of frustrated with her because he was looking for her to look for her apartment after a few weeks. And then she kept saying that she couldn't find her apartment. She couldn't find the apartment. Drew just didn't want to get an apartment, which is her character's name on the show is AAilyah. And then finally, her brother kicked her out, and then she went to apologize to her high school friend and co-worker. And they work at the same company, and I think that's their brother's company that they work for. And what happened? Drew begged the girl to let her stay in, and she let her stay in the apartment with her temporarily. And then Drew did the same thing to her friend, tried to redecorate and do all that kind of stuff. And the friend was saying, "Well, I'm gonna kick you out." And the friend kicked her out. And then Drew tried to come back to her brother. He said, "No, no." He told her to make up with her friend. So she made up with her friend. And her friend was saying that she was kind of lonely after Drew had left, instead because her and Drew had a good friendship and good camaraderie. And like I said, they handled a very serious situation of gentrification very comically and funny and stuff like that. And I think it said on the credits that one of the producers from the old TV show Morton from the 90s. And I was glad about that and stuff like that. And stuff like that. That was episode 1. Episode 2 was about the auntie, and the auntie. I forgot to say it in the beginning. Let me say it right now. The cast is consists of Drew Sidora, Beyshire Web, Columbus Short, and the auntie is Rhonlanda Watts. All those are old time actors and stuff like that. Rhonlanda Watts, she used to have her own talk show back in the 90s. And then she also was the voice behind Judge Brown. I mean Judge Joe Brown. She was also like the voice over the voice behind. I know Columbus Scott from a lot of movies, and then the last thing I saw Columbus Scott in was in Scandal. He was on Scandal before he had his little alcohol and drinking incident. And then Beyshire Web, she's been on a lot of movies and comedy shows too. And we all know about Juice Adora. So they have an ensemble cast, and the ensemble cast is very funny and they're very relatable, and they get along with each other as a group. And nobody's trying to outshine anybody. It's just that everybody in the cast kind of plays off each other. But I was surprised that Drew Sidora and Bouchard, I think her name is Webb or Webster, whatever. Uh, I think, her and Drew kind of play off each other, chemistry and stuff like that. And this is a real good thing. Like I said a few minutes ago, Drew is good as an individual, but she's also very good at doing individual shows. And this is a second individual ensemble cast because the first one is Real Housewives of Atlanta and stuff like that. And also, I did see clips of Drew's first live performance in LA for the LA Pride. That was about, I think it was about the same week that they was filming the reunion, and when she was doing all those interviews was on Watch What Happens Live and all type of stuff like that. I already did a video about that. And then she just did one this past Saturday for 4th of July, and it was in Chicago, and I really did like her performance. She showed like a rehearsal video of her doing a dance moves and choreograph and stuff like that. And like I said, I only know Drew back in the day for her acting. I really know too much about her dancing and her singing. The people got to see, and she sung a collab with Mario back in the day for Honey, and I Honey was like one of those type of dance type of movies and stuff like that. And it was like I really didn't know, but Drew really can dance and sing, and she did a good performance. I liked her live performance at the Chicago at Chicago Pride stuff. Now the only thing I didn't like I said on Twitter and Instagram, I didn't like that uniform, that outfit she had on, but the hair was kind of like sandy blonde with a little pinky and a little blue. I guess she was trying to just guess she was trying to represent them and stuff like that. But it was just like the outfit just didn't match. The hair was okay, but the outfit I didn't like at all. So I really did like Drew's show. And like I said, the first one was about gentrification. The second one was about the old grandma meeting up, not the grandma, the old Auntie meeting up with a high school, with a high school, a high school friend. And she thought they could rekindle their relationship, and they didn't. And and she found out that he just wanted to be like it was in high school. He just wanted to have a fling with her, and she thought it was more of a serious relationship than that. And so, like I said, there was episode 1 and 2 that I saw of Mind Your Business. It's a really funny comical show that touches on a lot of personal a lot of personal issues, a lot of personal issues that people that ordinary people are going through, but they play it out in a more comical way and stuff, even though it's a serious topic. That's all I have for this video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells like a TI is. I am out.